Champions Podcast, the show where we celebrate the educators who are changing the game in the world of learning. Champions Podcast will take you on a journey through the inspiring stories of educators who teach with a mission, leaving an indelible mark on their schools and the lives of their students. Subscribe now, and together, let's celebrate the educators who are shaping the future, one classroom at a time. This is the Champions Podcast. Let the journey begin. Welcome to the Champions Podcast, the show where we celebrate the educators who are changing the game in the world of learning. Champions Podcast will take you on a journey through the inspiring stories of educators who teach with a mission, leaving an indelible mark on their schools and the lives of their students. Subscribe now, and together, let's celebrate the educators who are shaping the future, one classroom at a time. This is the Champions Podcast. Let the journey begin. Welcome to the Champions Podcast, the show where we celebrate the educators who are changing the game in the world of learning. Champions Podcast will take you on a journey through the inspiring stories of educators who teach with a mission, leaving an indelible mark on their schools and the lives of their students. Subscribe now, and together, let's celebrate the educators who are shaping the future, one classroom at a time.
So, good afternoon, good evening, for wherever you are watching. So, today we are still going to continue with our podcast, and I'm very grateful as a podcaster that I'm able to invite someone from the Philippines, which is close to Malaysia, right? Okay, so the person that I'm going to invite is Kervy, Kervy from the Philippines. So, without further ado, can you please introduce yourself, Kervy, and share a bit about your background in education and your teaching experience in the Philippines, if you don't mind.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for watching with us, with my Google champion, Sean over here. I am Kervy. Oh, hold on. Let me just stop sharing for the meantime. Okay. Yeah, I'm Kervy from the Philippines. I am currently a grade 10 and a grade 12 high school teacher. I'm currently teaching ICT, computer subjects, and I'm also currently teaching EdTech related topics, not only to students, but also to my co-teachers and other teachers in our community. Before becoming a teacher, I was a server technical specialist where I provide solution, where I provide technical assistance to all the resellers so that we could provide functional, worthy server solutions before resellers can send those devices. And aside from that, I'm also a Google certified trainer, innovator, and a champion, just like Sean over here. And yeah, that's mostly about what I do in my job.
So, quite interesting. But before I go even further in, I believe that our listener also want to know why become from a reseller suddenly become a teacher. What inspired you to become a teacher, and how have you seen the education landscape change over the years in Philippines? If you can take over.
Yeah. Um, that's a very inspiring question because you made me look back to my journey. Actually, I'm currently 4 years in the service right now. I'm teaching in public school, and back then it has always been my passion. Even if I'm providing solution to the resellers, I'm the tech guy. It is still my passion to educate, to enlighten people about the beauty and the power of technology. And while being a server specialist in a private company for around 4 years, there's this amazing calling that I have that is always in me that I want to teach, that I want to transform our community. And by transforming the community, I believe it I should start by educating the children, educating the youth, not only in terms of ICT, not only by educating them how to use it, but simply to become a better members of the society. So, what was your question? What's the next question, Sean? Sorry, didn't quite
Mm,
catch that.
Have you seen the education landscape change over the years in Philippines? Let me make it even clearer. Let me present this. for you so that you have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. The Philippines basic education crisis, right? Out of country 32,000 odd school building, less than a third are in good condition according to government figures. So what's your take on this Kervy? Yeah. So yeah, how do you see changes? Yeah, based on the news there. Do you agree with the news that I just showed you? Or yeah, what do you think? Because you are local there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually true because if we will understand the geography of the Philippines, basically we have many provinces, different places all over the country. And right now, I'm living in the center or in the metro, so we have a different situation. Somehow uh, we were generously given some of the opportunities like having dedicated computer laboratories facilities, and the tech vox side we were actually um, given and supported by the government officials. But on the provinces, due to lack of budget, I believe there are some limitations that are currently hindering the experience of the students and the setup of the schools, as well as there are really a lot of students in the Philippines. Like, for example, if I may share in my situation, my school that I'm currently teaching in is the most populous public school in our community. So it's very somehow it's a little bit difficult to manage 50 to 60 students in one classroom.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
and talking about the facilities, for example, uh, in the context of tech voc or technical vocational, where we teach skills, where there's a need for facilities, it's gonna be so difficult to let everyone experience, share those facilities so that they can learn. For example, the computer labs, the cooking laboratory, the dressmaking laboratory, students get to share their materials, the facilities. What more in the provinces where there are limited and insufficient facilities or technologies given. So I think that's still a challenge for us because there should be more projects that will support the public schools. There should still be more opportunity, not only in the city, in the metro, but also in the provinces, so that they could also experience having the same quality of learning by providing the needed materials and facilities that as a public school deserves to have.
All right, that's a very good answer. So, okay, let me take you back. Okay, just now you have stated a few good points for your own country, and could you tell your current role and responsibility as a teacher, and how it has evolved after the COVID or even the digital age? What do you think can we it happen in the Philippines? Let me repeat
Um,
again.
yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Are we talking about the responsibility, my
Yeah,
responsibility as a
of
teacher?
course. Yes, your responsibility as a ICT teacher at your school and how it evolved during the COVID and even the digital age. Since just now you have saw say lots of the pro and cons that happen in the urban area and the outskirt area. So yeah, over to you, Kavi.
Yeah, speaking in our area, for me, it's a very difficult responsibility because the reason why I actually applied to become a teacher because I want to teach. However, since I'm an ICT teacher, it was assumed that I can also repair computers, maintain facilities, which something that a little bit doubtful in my end because of the said reason. I actually applied for a teacher. If you will just make me a technician, then I'd rather just stick to my previous job. But I'm just being grateful because these responsibilities will affect the students, and I'm happy doing that as well. I'm happy to maintain the facility so that the students can use, the teachers can also use in our area, where I think I can also speak to the same situation that other teachers, especially in the provinces, in the rural areas, that they experience the same thing. However, the downside there is that not all of the public schools or not all of the provinces are having an ICT major teacher, just like me. I'm a pure ICT major. Some of them are agriculture major. Some of them are purely English major. So if if they would like to incorporate, to promote ICT or EdTech in their school, even if they're not an ICT major, they will be promoted, or I should say, they will be appointed to do things that an ICT coordinator will do. So that's a bit of a challenge, especially during the pandemic, where everyone is really depending, relying on ICT coordinators. We call it ICT coordinators here in the Philippines. And I was really hoping that, despite right now that we're back to face, there would be a designation for an edtech leader, because ICT coordinator is really bombarded with everything, from starting from reports, from the audit. It somehow neglects the responsibility of teaching, inspiring, encouraging, empowering teachers to utilize technology in teaching, in education, and in utilizing it in school. So that's currently the situation that we're currently experiencing, but I'm sure we're getting there because of the trainings that we have, because of the experience that we have during the pandemic.
Thank you. All right. Kervy, just now you say it's hard and everything, right? So I believe that that doesn't happen in every places also. But I also that if not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Google is taken away from teachers in Philippines. Is it right? And how do you see that? Am
Um,
I wrong?
There are. Mhm. Well, that's actually a good question. Although I'm just part of the. I'm just one of the Google educators who champion, who promotes, who appreciate and proud of using the Google Workspace tools. We have some challenges where it's actually a political decision which I'm not involved, but right now we were given another opportunity to utilize the Google Workspace, but it depends on, I mean, the decision or the subscription is now depending on the decision of the how do I say this, local education community. So there are some who avails the higher edition or the version, while some just uses the fundamentals. So it depends on the school community or the district, based on what they want to avail. But right now, even if the despite the limitation in my community, I'm still promoting, I'm still using it. I can see teachers and office staff still using the Google Workspace, because of its purpose, because of its functionality. So yeah, but to answer probably a little bit of that situation, we're not limited to some specific tools, like, okay, if I may say it, Microsoft, Apple, we're not being limited. We're still given the freedom to choose whichever we're comfortable with. But in my case, even if I am even if the community is using Microsoft, I still use and promote the Google Workspace tools, because that is something that works in our school and even in our community. So yeah.
All right, thank you. So now we go for the big Philippine goal. Now I want to go to your school, Kevin. So can you
Mhm.
provide? the stage, the status of your digitalization in your school in Philippines, and share some initiative that you have been involved in. You got some slide to share, right? I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
yeah. I'm currently sharing it right now to everyone. So here's a little bit of pictures that I gathered. I'm sorry, these are the only pictures that I have currently, but just to share with everyone that I'm proud, I'm very happy. It's an honor to become an ICT teacher in the Philippines. Seeing this, because to tell you, I started teaching 4 years ago, and we never actually had this kind of experience where we get to maximize the computer lab for the entire duration of a lesson. Mostly, we go to computer lab for laboratory, hands-on activities, for specific tasks. But for this one, the one that I'm sharing right now, it's a diverse purpose. So if you can see on the upper left, it's just a discussion. On the bottom, it's more of application, and on the upper right, it's an assessment. So right
Mm.
now in our school, somehow we get to maximize or utilize technology in delivering the lessons, and as well as utilizing edtech tools, especially Google Workspace tools, to further engage learners, to excite them, to make them more involved in the learning process. And also what I'm proud here is that on the upper right, I am still allowed. I was permitted to conduct online quizzes, online assessments, which is very helpful in my case because I'm to the point where I'm already sick with a lot of papers, so I get to utilize the technology so that there would be a less paperwork in my end, less checking in my end, and a little bit more of upgrade because we know in Google Forms it gives us statistics, right? So that's currently in my own classes. But in our school, generally, teachers after the pandemic and we went to face-to-face scenario, I'm happy and I'm very proud seeing both the young generation of teachers, the mid and seasoned teachers utilizing Google Slides, presentations, and somehow I get to see teachers who apply gamification and a VR experience. I'm not sure if it's VR or AR, but I get to see Google Arts and Culture. Yeah, so they get to utilize that in teaching. We're all doing that for students. We actually have this hashtag para sa bayan and hashtag para sa bata. It means for the country and for the learners. So that's what we embody na that's what we embody now that we get to go back to the school, and we're allowed and somehow we're being supported with our school head to utilize and to exhaust everything for our learners. So yeah.
Okay, Kevin, from your photo, right? I didn't see that your student. I think this actually also happened in Malaysia. So I'm quite curious as a Malaysian teacher, does all of your students having any Chromebook or so what given by the government, or it hardly happen, or how? Kevin, yeah.
Yeah. In our school, we don't have Chromebooks yet. I'm not sure why, despite the beauty and then the excellent features of a Chromebook. If you can see, there are diverse technology that being used in our school. Like for example, there are iMacs over here, which are provided by our local government. The iPad, which are I think this one is mine, and the students are currently using their smartphones. So currently, the one that we're using in school and what is being given to us is a Microsoft or a Windows based computers. But I think um, Chromebooks are already coming. Not sure if it's in our community, but it's already present in the Philippines. It's just that not all of the public school are currently using it. I think I'm sure that there is one school here. It's a private school, also in the metro, who are currently using Chromebooks, and they were able to maximize its features for the students.
Mm. And just now you drove me to another interesting point that also didn't happen in Malaysia. That's just
Mm-hmm.
now you said the student bring handphone, right? The smartphone to school.
Smartphone. Yeah.
So it's not banned in Philippines or how? Yeah, can you describe further because we really don't know what really happened in Philippines.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Basically, there's no standardized, I should say, rule in using smartphones. It's just that students are not allowed to use that if it's not permitted by their teacher. So generally, it's the main rule. Students are not allowed to use that if it's not permitted by their teachers. So in my case, since I am an ICT teacher, I make sure to inform them ahead of time if they will be using their smartphones, so to set their expectation and to gain their respect as well, because we don't like giving instructions to students, then the next day we don't make it realistic, right? It will break their hearts. So yeah, in our community, smartphones are allowed to be used, but teachers and students have to make sure that it's gonna be used for school purposes only.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank now. We have challenges during COVID. I believe our challenges is almost the same. Now, let's talk a bit further after pandemic. What challenges that you face? I believe that you also got slide later on this. What challenges do you face post pandemic? What do
Mm-hmm.
you see kind of happen, kind of work in your school and kind of didn't work in your school? Even though yes, we are talking about digitalization, and what do you want Philippine government to do if they are listen to this podcast? I mean, encounter this podcast. Oh, yeah, yeah. Can we?
Okay. Well, I just want to share this one data that I found. This is what I've learned as well. I'm not sure if we're in the same breakout room when this was taught. So this is the Project Connect by UNICEF. So here's what I gathered. Here's the data that I gathered, which I can actually say it's true. Currently, schools that doesn't have internet in the Philippines is around 65.93%. It's really a lot. I can also include that in some of public schools here in our area, they are still facing the same challenges during the pandemic. Still up to now, they still don't have a stable internet connection. So basically, that's one thing that I can truly consider uh, a big challenge, because right now, if you will ask teachers, they are aware, they know certain tools, educational technology tools that they can use whichever subject they teach. The problem here is that there are parts in school that doesn't have internet connection. So that's one of the main challenges that we experience. And there are some teachers who get to avail of some promos so that they would be able to connect to cellular data and use it so that they can connect to the internet, but that's not going to sustain the financial aspect of the teachers, because it's going to be an additional burden for financial aspect, right? So that's one thing. And facilities, I can still say facilities where there are still classrooms here in the Philippines which is made of chalkboards, although I'm not against it. It's just that chalkboards could have been changed or upgraded to whiteboards at least, so that it's projector ready. Projectors are being bought by teachers individually. I even bought mine just to share because it's not provided. Although there are schools, I believe that the local government are providing televisions like a smart TV so that they can easily connect wirelessly. I can actually promote in our city that public school teachers are given. Uh, I hope I can I can promote mention, I
Sure,
should say. I can mention the brand. We
sure,
are being
sure.
given Samsung S9 tablets so that we can use that if we need to present something in class without doing wire connection and all. So that's one advantage that we have in our local community. But talking about some other challenges, I think it's still on the facilities. Classrooms are still a challenge to us. Lack of classrooms. Just want to share that in the Philippines, there are still provinces where a single classroom is being divided into half so that
Ooh.
it can cater two sections or two classes. So there are still areas, but not all areas in the Philippines. So what I'm proud of is that Filipino teachers are very flexible, has always been flexible and very dedicated. That's why we still get to serve, we still get to empower our learners on that. Yeah. I'm not sure if you've asked me about the local government uh, projects. There are a lot of government support that is being provided. For example, in the Philippines, there are provinces where um, digital citizenship programs are being highlighted in our city. It is already a hot topic that is being coordinated to everyone, not only to students but also to teachers. Right now, it is only limited to teachers and students. What I'm looking forward is that when it comes to digital citizenship, I hope parents are also being involved so that when they get home or even outside the school, students are still being guided in terms of digital citizenship, how to behave in online environment, and how do they deal with different situations like scams, hacking, what else, phishing, and some other stuff that is related to that. So that's what I'm looking forward right now because it was already started. However, the people involved are currently teachers and students. So hopefully, there will be more programs supported by the local government that will involve teachers and the entire community.
Mm, interesting. Just now you also you let me dig in one more. I mean, kind of sort of know what really happened, but I want to know further. Just now you finally bring out these shareholder co-parents, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, how's the reaction in Philippines? Because if that's how they respond, I mean, the local government responded in a way that only now parents can get to know digital. Is it that all the parents in Philippines like kind of say no to this digitalization or how? Yeah, can you take over? Yes.
Right now, it is not yet fully maximized because, like what I mentioned earlier, it's most of the programs involves teachers and students, but there are some communities I think have already started involving the parents, and I can see that parents are already supportive and they appreciate that there are programs that are being conducted so that they they are knowledgeable on how to handle their children, how to guide their children, especially now that most of the students are digital natives. They can't finish a day without holding their phone, without communicating with their friends using their smartphones. So something like that. So it's still developing as of this moment because it's not a program. It's not yet a big involvement happening, including the parents. So I hope that is something that must be furnished in the future, where the importance of the involvement of parents must be given importance as well. And I hope the parents would also appreciate it, that these are all for their children. These are all for the betterment of their children.
Thank you, Kervy. So
Mm-hmm.
now I want to know the next thing that I want to know from you is in Philippines, right? How do things go now? How do everything go now in a sense that is it come to a plateau after the COVID? When I say plateau in digitalization, is everything just stop at the point where everything is be introduced uh in school in a way where we only can use Google app everything for teachers and also parents, and then after the COVID, after the post pandemic, we only stick to that, and then we don't want to innovate further. Does that really happen in Philippines, or there are also got innovation competition for digital digitalization apps and so on in Philippines? Yeah.
Yeah, it happens really. And just to share with you, um, last year really broke my heart seeing the reality, because when we get back, some teachers also get back to their old ways. Only few teachers really brought to them the learnings that the distance learning have given. Only few of us have continued what we've learned during those distance learning, and some of them, I'm sorry, I hope I can still share this, right? We're
Sure,
still
sure, sure.
in an environment where teachers get to use cartolinas. We have this Manila paper. Not sure if if it's
Yeah.
also
Common.
being used, yeah, in other places. So there's still teachers who chose to use that because they see it as convenient, easy, because they can just simply buy and write everything. But it saddens me because it neglects the purpose, it neglects the beauty of learning that we got from the 2 years that we were able to utilize or maximize online distance learning. So that is one thing that I am championing right now, especially the seasoned teachers. That's my advocacy right now, to really inspire and empower the seasoned teachers, because I am a son of a 62-year-old public school teacher. I know how it feels whenever I see my mom here in our home, wondering how this can be used. How is she going to do this? Even if she practice it at home, when she go to school, it's gonna be different, right? So I'm inspiring. That's my advocacy right now, inspiring seasoned teachers to appreciate, to utilize, and just to continue to learn that it's okay to get to make mistakes, that it's okay to take it slow, right? So um I hope there are more champion teachers in the Philippines who will do the same, because again, the direction is really going there. These
Mm-mm.
students does not deserve old ways anymore. I'm
True.
not saying that we should not use, or we should completely stop. What I'm just saying is that I hope in the Philippines we continue to move forward and not backwards. And there are a lot of helpful tools already. There is AI, there is VR, AR, and there are simulations. There are already many tools that can be utilized. So I hope champion teachers like me and my Google educators could could maximize, could exhaust, and make ourselves more available to inspire this set of teachers. Right now, I'm not only talking about the seasoned teachers, but I hope as one Filipino nation, we work on that to move forward and to appreciate the beauty and the power of technology in education.
Right. Thank you, Kevin. So now, Kevin, talking about that, right? do you have any success stories so far, guiding those teachers, guiding those students in your own school, or even the communities around you, even your neighbor, everything? If you don't mind sharing your success story to us.
Yeah. Right now, I'm currently spearheading a program where I will be uh, teaching, empowering. I will empower teachers in the utilization of AI in our day to day responsibilities. As we all know, AI is already there for many years. Not just Chat GPT, but here's Bard and some other tools that I've learned from you and the team Table Five. Shout out to Miss D to and to other friends we have there from SG. So I get to share the function and the purpose of AI in some of the teachers in our school. I'm actually targeting the seasoned teachers.
Mhm.
I'm not sure why, but my heart really goes to senior citizens, right? So, I am eager to start it with them. I already started sharing this to three seasoned teachers, plus one, including my mom. So somehow, I've started sharing them, not the technicalities yet, but how these tools can make their lives easy. And it's um it's so touching to see because there are some teachers who are crying because I'm not sure why. I'm not really sure why. I think it's a combination of happiness or maybe sadness because at some point they thought that these tools will replace them, will replace us teachers, but that's not the way I want them to see AI. I want them to see AI as an ally or a buddy or a helpful tool that us teachers can use to make our lives easier, to reduce some tasks that will allow us to have a life outside work. Because here in the Philippines, if if you will pinpoint people, you will
Mm.
get to distinguish if somebody is a teacher because a teacher brings home a task. Yeah,
Oh,
we bring home task. We brought it home. Although some are learning how to balance work and life situation, but it is still common to teachers here in the Philippines to bring home their tasks. So I'm very inspired. I'm very eager. I'm excited to share that to the teachers. Although one program that I have attended is that there are already teachers who are maximizing the use of AI in working on their projects, in creating a lessons to
ooh.
make it an improved version. Yeah, so I'm happy that those are considered as success stories, and as well as simply seeing seasoned teachers not bringing a lot of papers anymore. So I think that's what one thing that I can brag because there's a notion that if someone is a teacher, it is expected that he or she holds a lot of folders, envelope, and a lot of things. But I'm sorry, there are already teachers, seasoned teachers, who is just holding their smartphones or their tablets and their projector, who will just go to their classroom and teach the lesson excellently. So that's one progress that I'm currently proud of, especially if I get to see seasoned teachers like that. But we're getting there. I'm still on in the making and planning on how I can encourage champion teachers like me so that it's not only me who get to experience this, who get to share. Oh, I hope there are a lot of teachers, not only in our school, but in the community, in our district, to do the same, especially in the provinces, in the rural areas. I hope there would be champion teachers who will initiate such kind of progress and innovation so that every teachers in the Philippines would have an easier life, I should say, and at least reduce the tasks that they bring at home and live a life. Be a parent, be a brother, a sister. Yeah.
So now you say easier life, everything. But I believe that I think this is Asian mindset. I believe that this will also, I believe, will be become the talk of the town once AI is part of the teachers how to say asset, right? So what do you think on this? Will AI make us teachers more lazier than before? How do you take this? Because I believe that once this go out, once your program becomes even more success than ever after this, I believe that there will be sounds or noises out there
Mhm.
that say, because it's our Asian mindset and it's in our blood. Uh, do things too easily means lazy teacher. What do you think on that?
I don't think so. For as long as um this is one thing I've learned in our Google Symposium in Singapore, that we don't focus on the technicalities. We don't throw off technicalities to teachers. We show them the function, we show them the purpose and the benefits of using AI. And one thing that I'm currently hoping for is that I hope there would be a regulation in terms of using AI in schools, because I think that's what what is lacking right now. There are no standard rules. There are teachers, there are school officials who are currently creating their own rules, so it's a little bit confusing. But to answer that question, I don't think it will make teachers lazy, for as long as they will be taught the real essence of AI in education. That AI is there as a tool and not gonna replace teachers, and not going to function as teachers, because AI doesn't have hearts like us, the passion, it's not present to them. So if I will be sharing AI to the teachers, I will focus more on how they can leverage from it, how they can use it to improve the quality of their work, to produce a different level of competency, or I should say, to challenge more the students, how they can uh, produce higher order thinking skill questions, activities that will enhance the capabilities of learners. So yeah, that's a no for me. Um only if it will be taught, or if it will be shared to teachers as a tool that will guide them, and not to be dependent on it.
All right, thank you. Now, just now you keep on focusing on teachers, right? We forgot our main client, your student. How any success story from your student that you don't mind sharing?
Yeah. I'm currently teaching illustration in my grade 10 students, and in my grade 12 students, there are various majors that they've learned back when they were in lower grade level. So talking about my grade 10 students who are currently learning illustrations, they are now engaged, they are now exposed to various edtech tools where portfolio is no longer based on papers. They get to share their portfolios already all over the community, online, and even people outside the Philippines. They get to share their talents, their skills, even if they're working their outputs inside the school with the help of the edtech tools. It gave them platforms. It gave them the opportunity to share in a bigger audience, in a wider audience, the the skills that they have learned. What else? My grade 12 students are now being able to utilize different devices. They are now aware that Windows is not the only devices that is currently present in in the industry. They get to experience Apple. They get to experience Google tools as well. So the diversity, the openness, they are being exposed to that. And one thing that I would like to brag about, yeah, brag, um The journalism team in our school currently won first place in the national competition because of the usage of technology in presenting their newsletter, their news magazine, in presenting news. So those are already happening in our schools. Those are purely made by students. Those are created, developed, coded by the students. So I'm happy to see that journalism is no longer just about printed copies, but also digitized version of a newsletter, a news magazine. So yeah, that's those are the success stories that we found. I think we can also include robotics here,
Oh,
where yeah, there are science schools here in the Philippines conducting robotics training already. We even have a robot based graduation during the pandemic. Yeah, so even if there's no students, it feels like there are students walking, graduating by just with the help of the robots and just a digital screen which will show the face of the student. So yeah, there are a lot of success stories that involves students as well.
mm, interesting, interesting. So
Yeah.
now, Kervy, now I believe that all of our listeners that listen to you, some of them are young teachers, right? Uh, can you share any innovative strategy or solution that you don't mind tell these young teachers if they're inspired to become you in the future? I believe that among our listeners, some are just first year teaching, second year teaching, but seeing coming, oh, you are so young, but yet you already do so much. What is your advice for them, and how should we go further in this digitalized world? Yeah, can we?
Okay. Yeah, I actually have three things. Number one is do it for the children, do it for the students. Okay. We're not the main characters here. We're just instrument. We are just we're just the guide, the facilitators. Let's focus on the students. Let's give them a learning experience that they will remember, that will upscale them, that will improve the status of their lives. Just want to share this innovation that I have. Allow me to share this screen. Hold on. There. This is the tool that I've created. This is a learning material that I've created during the pandemic, and up till now, I'm still using it. It's an Among Us theme lesson, inspired lesson that is based or created using Google Slides and with the application of Pear Deck. So the topic is about safety procedures and tools and illustration. Basically, if you are a tech voc teacher teaching tools, you can just simply present, here are the tools, here's the purpose, here's how we're going to use this. It's a typical way of teaching the learners. So what I would like new teachers or other teachers to learn from me is that we give students an experience, a meaningful learning experience, not just by simply learning, but also being creative by letting them, by making them involve. So, for example, here I let them answer questions. I let them choose their question, their answers. I should say. Here, I'm not only letting them define what is this. I let them connect the terms by doing gamification. What else? Here, they could define it in a different manner, in a fun way. I've even included the concept of Among Us right now here, the contrast, yeah, in a fun way. So we give them, or we create meaningful learning experience for the learners, and don't just settle for what we know. We continue to explore, we continue to learn, because that's what teachers are. We are lifelong learners, right? So just like technology, if technology evolves, teachers should evolve too, right? So these are the tools that I have created, not for me, but for my students to actually experience learning a new way, a different way that will involve them, that will allow them to feel that they are included, that they are part of the class, part of the lesson, and something like that. Okay, so that's one. And number two, number two is to continuously learn. And for my number three is that be yourself. In a pool of teachers, there would be teachers who is gonna be better than us. Sean is better than me. There are other teachers who's better than me during the symposium, but that won't stop me. That won't stop me from being the Sir Kirby that my students are excited to see every day. That won't stop me from being the Sir Kirby that I am, because I know that with the heart that I have, for as long as I love what I do, I can always provide and create an experience. I will always focus on having a meaningful learning experience for the learners, because that's what matters the most. I can I can be who I want to be for as long as I dedicate it for my students. If I have to be funny, if I have to be playful, I will do that, because that's what my students deserve. And they are the main characters here, because if my students will improve, if my students learn, if my students are excited, are eager, are always, ready to face challenges, we are creating a community or a country that is also competitive, that is excited, and we create transformative environment for our country. So those are the things that I can share to my fellow teachers there, that it will always be for our students.
Oh, right. Thank you. Now, for the last question, before we end this podcast, what do you envision for the future of the digital education in Philippines? I repeat, what do you envision for the future of digital education in the Philippines, and how can it be more inclusive and equitable for all students? Kevin?
Yeah. Well, I hope there would be programs in the Philippines that will cater the needs of the schools, including in the rural areas. And I hope there would be programs that will focus on utilization of technology in the context of those areas. Because, for example, here in the Philippines, we have areas that are very involved or enriched with agricultural areas. So I hope there would be programs that will train teachers on how students can utilize technology in doing agriculture, even fishery, because we have that situation here in the Philippines. Here in the metro, we focus more on the ICT level. What else? Yeah, industry wide, those are the same characteristics. So I hope there are also programs that will enable different parts in the Philippines to have that kind of context that the students can experience. What else? I hope the utilization of AI will also be regularized, so that we all know how to use it properly in and outside the classroom, and so for teachers to have a life as well, because for years teachers have always been exhausted with the papers, with a lot of tasks, juggling everyday work as an advisor, ICT coordinator, feeding program coordinator, and everything. Yeah, just like today, we just finished the election, and teachers are the main involved to that.
Mhm.
What else? Yeah. What else? I hope there would also be digital citizenship programs that will enable parents to become more involved. And I hope there will also be programs including or highlighting the special education aspect. And we also have the alternative learning system here in the Philippines. I hope those are gonna
Oh,
be also considered, to make sure that all kinds of learners are also considered, are also involved in the transformation that the Department of Education will pursue in the future. So it's not just about the people here in the metro, it's not only the people in the provinces, but I hope there would also be an improvement in terms of special education and the alternative learning system. So yeah.
All right. So before I let you go, if you don't mind sharing your handles, because I believe that there might be those lady teachers or even teachers that how to find Kevin, how to find Kevin. He's so handsome. How can we find you if you don't mind sharing your handles?
You, Sean, you are selling me out there. You know me, I'm a very low key person. But yeah, thanks for that. You can find me in my social media. I have my Facebook and Instagram. My Facebook is Kervy Cammagay. That's Cammagay. And on Instagram, it's Kervy KervyXC. I'm also present in LinkedIn, same with my Facebook name, Kervy Cammagay, Mmagay. And I'm happy to share that I'm also a part of a startup company here in the Philippines. It's an edtech company called Rocket Innovations. So just want to share that to everyone over here, there. So it's Rocket Innovations PH. Currently, we are five in the team, I should say. Three of us are Google champions. We also joined Sean in the Singapore event. So just want to share that I'm one of the training and content specialists and one of the trainer. And here are the services that we offer: not only training and support, but we also do repair and services and consultancy, both in private or in public school. So if you want, to reach out to us, uh, here's our email. It's info@rocketinnovationsph.com. You can also contact us if you want to via the contact number provided there. And you can also search us in Facebook, Rocket Innovations PH, in Instagram, Rocket Innovations PH, and on LinkedIn, Rocket Innovations Training and Development Services. So yeah. Thank you so much, Sean, for this opportunity.
So I believe that in Philippines it's called selamat, right? For thank you, right? So selamat.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
salamat.
yeah, right. So that's all for us. Before we go, remember to subscribe to Champion Podcast, and that's all for us from us. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.